Picture the crack of the bat, the cheers of the crowds, the vendors traversing the aisles of the ballpark selling their goodies. No, you're not at a big league game. This is minor league baseball. Now, the elements we all love are still present. The smells, the excitement, the professionalism of the players. But there is a distinction. You see your neighbor sitting behind the dugout. You went to school with the hot dog guy. And you live only 2 blocks away. There is an intimacy in local ball that the majors just can't match. Sure, with the Dodgers and the Rockies or the Cubs, there is the awe of the park, the attendance numbers, the production, and the level of play. But local games do hold their own. Plus, these clubs feed into the majors. There is a link between a AAA club and the national show. There is a parallel here with the study of history. In the same way we often don't see the connections between the minors and the majors, when we read of national histories like the development of the railroads and industry, American exploits during World War I, or immigration history, we might not see how local history feeds into the broader picture. And local history is not inferior to national history in the slightest. Is the crack of the bat different between a minor league park and a major league stadium? Only in the breadth of echoes that carry the sound within the acoustics of the stands. Likewise, the vitality of resources and professionalism in methodology remains in local history, even if scale differs. This is Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Cheyenne, Wyoming. This small congregation surprisingly carries substantial local weight that speaks deeply to a broader context. This beautiful church building not only houses a local Eastern Orthodox Christian congregation, but it contains a rich tapestry of cultural traditions that link its people across the globe. Its founders settled Wyoming over 100 years ago, with many coming to work the railroads and coal mines of the Rocky Mountain region. Others opened ancillary businesses that served both the Greek and broader Cheyenne communities, especially in the form of coffee shops and restaurants. Even the building itself conveys a message of the past into the present. It was modeled in part on Orthodoxy's historical crown jewel of a cathedral, the Hagia Sophia, which is in today Istanbul, though the ancient cathedral has been under Islamic control for over 500 years. The building was completed in 1936, and in that year, the Archbishop of North and South America, Athenagoras, consecrated the church, pointing from the parish to the state capitol dome just blocks away, juxtaposing the two dynamic buildings as he implored the parish to its mission within the broader context of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Athenagoras would later become the ecumenical patriarch in Turkey, the first among equals in Orthodox Christianity.
Now and forever, and to the ages of ages.
Elements of architecture, oral history, time period history as told through records and newspapers, and even financial statements can all speak context to local history. This building is essentially a parsonage, but it has been transformed into a small museum and archive for the Greek community of Cheyenne, Wyoming, and really all of Wyoming. The Hellenic Heritage House contains artifacts of the community's past, photo displays of its accolades, trappings of Greek culture and Orthodox Christian practice, records of successes of Saints Constantine and Helen's members, past and present, materials related to the Greek community throughout Wyoming, and an archive of official church documents, family histories, and cultural history. This repository is open to visitors each and every Sunday during the church's fellowship period, and at other times by appointment. Whether someone is a member of the parish, a visitor, a community member seeking out local history, a genealogist, or even an academic working on broader Greek American history, this small bastion represents a wonderful opportunity for local history and preservation. One example of local history from the Hellenic Heritage House archives that bridges genealogy, transnational commitments of Greek Americans to two nations, and era issues is found in the documents and written family history of the Moores family. Gus Moores arrived in America in 1919 from Corinth. His brother George, who worked on the railroads in Colorado and Wyoming, came earlier. The two brothers attempted to Americanize their surname, Harloftis, choosing instead Morris, but it was misspelled and the family became Moores. In 1927, the two men settled in Casper and opened the Joyland Dance Hall, which was a short-lived venture, being destroyed by heavy snowpack on top of its roof. Gus and George would eventually settle in Cheyenne in 1934 after a stint running a poultry farm in Rock Springs. One fantastic story retold in a local work published by the state archives, though not corroborated, tells that when confronted by hooded members of the Ku Klux Klan who rallied against immigrants, George dehooded one of the members, and it turned out to be the then governor of Wyoming. Beyond family legends, the Moores family history demonstrates a commitment to the American dream as demonstrated by their industriousness, as well as work documents showing that George had left America sometime between 1909 and 1914, which happened to coincide with Greek wartime involvement in the Balkans, and many Greeks returned to Europe to fight for Greece. Others returned home to get married. Regardless of George's reason for departure, which is not revealed, he eventually returned to America to settle permanently. Though the Greeks in Wyoming and in America at large retained their links with their ancestral land, especially through Greek-owned coffee shops and in faith life, they nonetheless became amongst the most participatory and patriotic American citizens. Also well documented at the Hellenic Heritage House are the local Greek contributions to the local community, which are resoundingly demonstrated in the annual Greek festival. This festival began as an in-house bake sale to raise funds for improving the facility and ministry of the parish. In time, the event would move to its current annual location at Frontier Park, which houses Wyoming's biggest annual event, Frontier Days, the largest outdoor rodeo in the nation. The Greek festival may be second only to Frontier Days in annual attendance numbers in Cheyenne. The event is still used to raise money for the church. However, the church partners with a new local charity each year to give a portion of the proceeds back into the community. The Hellenic Heritage House contains the records of this event and more. It is a piece to a larger puzzle of local history in Cheyenne and of all of Wyoming. So how does the local history of Greeks in Wyoming actually relate to the broader national context, in the same way that the minor leagues connect to the big leagues? As mentioned, the first Greek settlers to the region came to work on the railroads and in the coal mines that bolstered national transportation, shipping, energy, and industry. The Wyoming Greek population also showed their dedication to their new nation during wartime. During World War I, the Greeks were amongst the most committed and patriotic, purchasing Liberty war bonds in droves to support the war effort. Greek American civic-mindedness and local participation fed into the national stage. In short, what the Greek population of Wyoming represents is that local histories matter.